Welcome to the Deucecast Extra. We are back for another fun-filled episode of Star Wars The Bad Batch. This week talking about Episode 5, Rampage, which is a very 1990s video game sounding title, Rampage, where you just expect monsters to be involved.
Rampage!
Yeah, and there kind of was. Actually read the synopsis on StarWars.com, which these are the lamest synopsis of episodes. This one just says, following a clash with a bounty hunter, the team takes on a job in exchange for intel and credits. I mean, that's like it. That's
very basic.
Very
pretty basic.
But,
I would say goes on the search for a person named Sid or something.
Yeah, at least mention the person that they're going. Yeah, I mean, Hunter basically was like, look, I know this contact that worked with the Jedi, which I found that really intriguing. So that very first line almost, or that first explanation, I was like, oh, well, maybe this is going to be somebody, maybe this is Dexter Jettster. I was really hoping it was going to be Dexter Jettster. I was like, please, that would be so awesome. Because why not? Why wouldn't they?
Instead, it's Rhea Perlman. So.
Instead, it's Rhea Perlman. Yeah, Sid, a new character who
a Trandoshan.
Yeah. Oh, Roth is already laying it down. Not a fan of Carla.
Wow.
Man, Roth hitting it hard. Did not like the character Sid, apparently.
Oh, okay.
He's just saying. Well, he
Carla was the character in.
And Dexter would have been awesome. I mean, because if I'm Dexter and I know that the Empire has taken over, business is probably not going to be great on Coruscant anymore. So I'm trying to get off planet and go someplace else. So they had a pretty. I thought overall, just to kind of tell my vibe of the episode, I thought overall it was a better episode than last week's. I had a bit more fun with this episode, although because it's Star Wars, there was some ridiculous controversy on Twitter about the Rancor not being canon as Jabba's Rancor, because they explained Jabba's Rancor was a different name in one of the Chuck-winded Aftermath books.
I've heard yes.
You listen to those idiots on Twitter?
No, I just thought it was fun. You cannot. It's so frustrating because you cannot have new Star Wars without there being some dumb controversy. And this is a 22 episode or 22-minute episode of Star Wars, a cartoon.
Yeah.
But I've heard that Muchi might be the mother of the Rancor.
Well, sure. I mean, it could be. That was what
they said on Roka's show.
Yeah, there was a dumb controversy, but I liked it over there. What about you, Ryfin? How did you feel about it?
I had that kind of feeling. Just when I think I'm out, they pulled me back in with this episode. I felt much more interested in the show. It's starting to take an interesting turn.
Yeah.
Interesting characters like Sid. Mm-hmm. And who is hiring Fennec Shand. Obviously, we'll get to that later.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'd say this episode piqued my interest again. Whereas the last couple of weeks, I've been I don't know, just kind of been in and out of it. Haven't been as there for it.
Yeah, I hear you. What about you, Dr. Earl?
Yeah, I mean, I think I agree. I think I agree with Padawan Ryfin there. I think what I'm liking is some of the more subtler things, like the fact that Echo, who's been a soldier, when they said he's a mercenary, he didn't like that. He was like, wait a minute, we're not mercenaries, but
right.
And just these little things, these little sort of subtle things about the Jedi were. Now that they're gone, we see that the Zygerian are back with the Republic gone. They're thinking they're going to set up their slave trade again. I mean, it's all these sort of world building things. The story itself, the idea of sending them off on a mission, I thought it was a nice little twist that it was a Rancor, because you're thinking it's going to be the.
You thought Muchi was going to be the little kid,
right? But that little green kid apparently is the same Prince Jazor from some.
Oh, you mean the same? Well, you mean the same species. Yeah, not the same character. Yeah,
and some people may say that's even him as a boy. I don't know.
No, we're not
bringing Shadows of the Empire into this.
Yeah.
Well, look, I mean, Prince Caesar
But I
is
like
probably gonna make an appearance at some point. I mean, they've got so many characters that they're holding back. I think they're going to tap into that are going to be fan favorites for like a different show, not necessarily this show, but yeah. I mean, that's interesting. Yeah. I mean, love the mention, like Brian's saying, love the mention of Ord Mantell. That it's like a planet you've heard about forever. Now,
Right.
I thought that this was the first time we had seen visually Ord Mantell in canon. Apparently not, though. Apparently it's in one of those Forces of Destiny cartoons that were on YouTube only. That you briefly see Ord Mantell, and so this was technically the second time we have seen this planet.
Hunter on Ord Mantell made me change my mind.
Yeah, exactly. Love it. Yeah, love it. To start the episode, we get an interesting thing. I think that based upon some events that had been happening in the last two episodes, they were tired of Omega going off on her own, so they got her a comm unit to, be able to basically get in touch with them whenever. And of course, she was playing with it and stuff.
She's obsessed with it.
She's obsessed with it. Exactly. Look, Rhett, I understand that you're not a huge fan of the Forces of Destiny, but they are canon. They are very much canon.
Are they canon? I haven't seen them.
Oh, yeah. Those Forces of Destiny little cartoons are definitely canon.
I feel like that's something they could wipe the slate with.
He's saying it's not canon in his dojo.
Well, whatever. But yeah, no, it's funny because they do keep kind of, let's say that this Rancor Muchi is the one that was, Malakili's Rancor. And they're like changing Chuck Wendig's books. This would be like the second time that they kind of changed something that happened in Chuck Wendig's book, because I
feel like with all the outrage, it's more than the second time, but maybe I'm wrong.
Might be second or third. Like obviously the first time is Cobb Vanth.
Yeah,
they changed that a little bit. There may be. I have a feeling that at some point they're going to change the Jar Jar stuff too, like where he was back on Naboo as a clown. Yeah, I think that they'll eventually change
as a clown. What?
Yeah, he should be a representative. Come on.
So he was like retired and he went back to Naboo, and his profession of choice when he went back was as a clown. Dude, I would rock some Malakili as cosplay. That would be awesome. So yeah, they're basically going on Ord Mantell because obviously Sid is there. Hunter is aware that she's put up camp there, and they go to. But none of them had ever seen her before. They just know of her reputation as helping the Jedi, and so they're hoping that this is a trustworthy person.
So they look over and they see a Trandoshan fixing a, I don't know, video game or something.
Right.
It does look like a video game. Yeah, it looked like an arcade game.
She's over there like collecting, and she's like, "No, Sid's not here." And then, and what happens with Omega goes, "Wait a minute."
Well, all the clones are just dumb, and they're like, "Well, is there any other contacts?"
Yeah.
And is she force sensitive? That's the question.
Well, it's either that or she's just intuitive. Yeah, like she's got some intuitiveness to her, maybe. It seems like, I mean, perception. She's got like a little, she's very perceptive of a situation. And so maybe there's some of that. I really hope that they don't make that character have the Force. We don't need the Force in everything. We really don't. We don't.
She needs to be a Skywalker somehow. She needs to be connected to the families.
We just don't need it.
You see, when she grows up, she goes back in time and she changes her name to Shmi.
I mean, I don't know. I think there is going, like right now, it doesn't feel as if there's going to be any major revelations in this series. But I just have a feeling there's going to be a hard, right turn at some point in this series, and it's going to be super important to overall.
I think you're right.
the overall story of Star Wars. I mean, I think
like Wrecker going crazy because he's bumped his head a billion times.
Dude, he can, and they again with the headaches.
I know.
He's saying he's got the headaches again.
I know.
And I don't know. I just have a really bad feeling about Wrecker.
So,
go ahead.
So what was she going to give them in exchange for going to free this child? You know, she goes, I want y'all to go on this mission to free this child.
Well, credits and information.
Credits and did she give information though? I was trying to remember.
Not really. I mean,
I was like,
she gave some.
It wasn't what they wanted.
Yeah.
It was this person's name is Fennec Shand. She's kind of young on the scene, and we really don't know who hired her.
And we don't know who's employed her. So
well, they did say
we'll know later in the season who hired her.
Yeah, we'll know later in the season. But didn't she say something like that it was a single entity, or like an actual like one person, something along those lines? That there was a key line in there where it was an abnormal type of bounty. You know, we're still trying to figure out all this bounty stuff, and Mandalorian helped a lot with the bounty puck and all of that. But the job was a different type of job than, you know, where a bunch of different, in other words, she's the only one that's doing this for this particular person. There's not a bunch of other.
Who we find out who it is, right?
What now?
Who she's getting the bounty for, who she's getting this child for, right?
Yeah, we don't. No, not yet. I mean, we're going to.
Oh, you're talking about Fennec Shand.
Yeah, Fennec Shand.
Oh,
we don't.
I'm thinking about Sid wanting
the Jabba's palace.
No.
Yeah.
What up, Nick? Welcome to the fray.
Whoa. Now we've got some wisdom who has dropped.
That's right.
He can listen to us ramble about things we don't know about.
It's just no. I mean, I like the fact that they did point out that Fennec was the only bounty hunter that was doing this particular job. This wasn't out for everybody to take the bounty puck and, like, you know, whereas the child in Mandalorian, there was a bunch of people, you know, that apparently were going after the child.
Well, of course,
they're saying she's young too, not like.
And they pointed that out specifically. I think a lot of the stuff that they're doing is to acknowledge that the audience needs to know how long she's been in the game, how young she is, because hey, how is this character who looks almost exactly the same age in The Mandalorian? I mean, Ming-Na Wen doesn't age anyways, but I mean, you know, it's interesting to know that she's young in the game, and it's not a situation where a bunch of people are going after Omega. It's just her. So they didn't necessarily hire her on reputation because she hasn't really been doing it that long. So I don't know. I found that interesting.
Or maybe, well, I mean, it still could be reputation, but
yeah,
that she's just good. Reputation.
Yeah. She ages like a fine wine.
That's right. I agree with Rhett. Yeah, I think she just ages like she is aging in life. So,
or she could be the same species as Zam Wessel, whatever your name.
Vessel? Did you say Vessel?
Zam Wessel? Zam Wessel. What's your name? Zam Weasel? I don't know.
Let's see what Brian's saying here. Do you think that just the guild wants her, or is it the Empire as well? Well, no, I think that there's one person that has commissioned. That's what it was. She was commissioned to go after Omega. I think it's just one person, either Tarkin.
She's not trying to kill Omega.
No.
Yeah,
exactly. No, it could be a number of people. It could be Tarkin, but I think he's kind of off the and let that other guy sort of take over.
Why would it not be the
Rampart?
No,
it could be. I personally think it's either
the Kamino.
I think it's Nala Se. Yeah, I think it's Nala Se specifically.
And that could be your one person hiring her.
Yeah, exactly.
In secret, and the other people don't know it on Kamino.
He does. That's what it's pointing towards, but it could be Rampart. It could be that
Roth
dude.
has spoken. He spoke.
When Roth speaks, that's what. Yeah, it speaks. No, I think that's. I think that's the most
Michael.
likely.
It says Jacob says definitely. It's done. The question is resolved.
There was some crazy some crazy theories that it could be Boba Fett that is commissioning because it's Boba Fett's sister.
Fennec Shand is?
No, Omega.
Oh,
Omega.
I'm sorry.
Omega.
Yeah. Amiga, like the Commodore Amiga.
No.
No, that'd be
Hey, Jacob knows. Jacob, I'm with you, Jacob.
Yeah,
When Jacob
I think
speaks, it's the truth.
it probably is Nalase, but I mean,
Yeah.
whatever.
I don't think there's going to be a huge twist. I mean, I could. Be
I don't
totally
know.
wrong.
I like this. I like the twin sister thing. I like the parallels there. The Boba Fett sister. I'm into it. If that's the way they go with it, I would be perfectly happy with it if that's the way they end up going with it. But
She's
yeah,
bottle blonded her hair, I guess.
Most likely it's the Kaminoans. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
We got
Nick's right. I mean, the Kaminoans have hired the combination of Fennec and or Boba to protect, recover their asset. Yeah, I mean that's
she's the future of their cloning program. I mean,
yeah,
right? That's what we're assuming, correct?
Yeah, well, and they even said, well, they didn't say her name, but they said we know we can't use the Django clone.
Yep,
we're gonna have to do something else, and she's the
Alpha
obvious
and the Omega. The end of the cloning line.
Exactly. She's the obvious choice in that particular circumstance. So yeah, I think it's certainly the Kaminoans.
Maybe she's another Boba. Maybe there's a bigger version of her out there.
Well, look, Roth. The deal is you don't host a Star Wars podcast, Roth. So of course Nick is right and you're not. The swerve. Well, a couple other Omega things that were pretty cool. We see her get her weapon of choice.
That was cool.
Very briefly, we see her get the arrow thing, and so she's gonna have that throughout the rest of the series. So she's gonna have,
which has a connection to the Night Sisters, is what I heard on one of these things. There's something with the Night Sisters with that weapon. I don't know.
With that particular weapon, interesting.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't really Star Wars, so I don't know.
I mean, I just watched the experts talk on these.
Yeah, no, I know. Hey, this is not
no knowledge of either.
This is not the show of experts, which is very clearly obvious. What's Nick saying now? Have a darker theory that Omega is going to start to glitch and fall apart because in episode 1 they talked about the dwindling viability of the original host. Interesting.
No, they wouldn't let that.
All right, is he saying they talked about the dwindling viability of the original host as an Omega or as in Django's original thing?
I think she's a different prototype, honestly, than the Django one.
Because I mean, if she starts to glitch too, I think that's cool. But I'm just wondering.
I'm always going to go back to the Kaminoans don't do things by mistake. That's what I'm always going to go back to. Like everything that the Kaminoans do has some specific intention behind it.
Hey, Jacob says you don't host a Star Wars podcast. Tell him that you are the self-nominated podcast.
That's not, I wouldn't necessarily call CTI a podcast of Star Wars stuff, but
it's stream of consciousness.
It's Star Wars stream of consciousness.
Oh, Brian has a good point here.
Oh, let's see here. What's Brian saying? She will know how to fix Wrecker when he flips his chip. No, I mean, yeah, very very well could. I think that she'll help. Rex will help. I mean, we've got all of that going on.
It's going to be one of those scenes like in Watchmen. By the way, spoiler alert: the TV show where she just hammers into his head and bloodily draws out the chip.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Oops.
Yeah, no, and this Brian's got a really good point that she was like the nurse almost, like she worked in that lab. So
that's true. So she's going to know.
Look, she's a jack of all trades, or a Jill of all trades, I guess.
I mean, she's a what is it? A Mary Sue? What do they call it?
No, you're not supposed to say that word. What are you doing?
I mean, she can't do anything wrong. Apparently, she can do everything perfect. So.
That's right. This is accurate. CTI is Star Wars adjacent. Based on my listening, it's mostly a podcast about Rhett's poor money spending choices. Oh man, that's
poor Rhett.
Oh,
I mean, all Rhett bought was like $1 worth of stuff at this time. Yeah,
that's right. That's right. Yeah, right. You should not have said some of the things that you said on that episode. That was your bad, dude.
There was a lot of things said on CTI that I was like,
I don't remember half of them, but that's okay.
No.
That's okay.
A lot of marriage discussion.
Yeah, I kind of am. That's fair.
That's fair. That is fair. So that they, for part of the episode, the viewer as well as the Bad Batch are under the impression that Moochie is this kid, and then a rancor gets released, and we find out that that's Moochie, and that a very interesting person wants Moochie back. Mm-hmm. That being my namesake, Bib Fortuna, wants his. And we see a side of Bib Fortuna that we don't necessarily get to see that often, which is kind of like a sweet Bib Fortuna.
He was like, Bib.
Yeah,
he was very sweet to his rancor
dog.
It was interesting. Yeah, I mean, because I did not necessarily get that impression, because there's some dark stuff with that character apparently that I did not know about, where he has eaten family members or something. Like there is some weird stuff going on with Bib Fortuna.
I don't extended universe, so
yeah. I mean that may be EU, but I don't know that that's canon. That may be EU, but
is EU not just the name for the extended universe in general? I mean, I feel like that name is Legends for the old universe.
Okay, well, yeah, perhaps now.
I mean, I don't Star Wars.
Yeah, you don't Star Wars. No, you're right. I mean, Legends is what Disney decided to call it, which is weird, but yeah.
Did he speak English? Jacob had a
no.
They didn't use any subtitles at all.
Yeah. It was just like he just started speaking Huttese, and it was okay.
They did rely on Sid a little bit. She didn't like translate, but answered the question, so you knew what he was saying. So I actually appreciated that decision. Why not do it that way? I don't need to see what he's saying. If another character is going to bounce it off and answer him, I can figure it out. I mean,
just felt kind of weird for a second because I'm used to the translation of the Huttese right on my screen. But
that's right. This is accurate. Disney doesn't think kids can read, or they don't want to encourage reading. They don't want that to be true. They don't want to. They don't want
watching their shows, right?
They don't want to encourage children to attempt to read things. I think
there was a Clone Wars episode where Greedo or something is in it, and he's speaking Huttese, and they translate it, but it's not often.
Yeah, I thought that was a weird decision, but I was fine with it. I thought it worked. I mean, because they had Sid bounce off of him, in conversation. So I thought it was kind of fine.
So we got Zygerians back from season 4.
Oh, yeah, and this was a good point. Matthew Wood back for another Bib Fortuna appearance. This is at least the
because he played him at the end of Mandalorian season 2.
Yep,
and in the prequel trilogy.
Yeah, no lines in the prequel trilogy, but he played him just visually in the prequel trilogy.
Really?
And then I want to say that he was in a Clone Wars episode also, maybe. I don't know. He's played him quite a bit, which is neat. I do like that. So if that was Matt Wood doing the Huttese, sounded pretty legit to me. I mean, I'm no expert on Huttese, but it didn't sound half bad. I kind of liked it. What are some of the things we're missing out, Dr. Earl? You listen to all these other people talk about this episode. What are some of the important things we're missing?
I think Wrecker going toe to toe with the rancor with Moochie, and he said something about the alpha dominance, and they're just like how the other Bad Batch guys just hang back and they're like, "Can you just hurry up and finish this?" And they're just slugging it out. So I mean, it was good for him to have a moment.
He got lucky he didn't die in that situation. There were a couple swings towards the end where he was lucky he slumped down.
Yeah.
Look,
with a guy with a head injury, you think they
I'm very concerned about Wrecker. He's gonna kill somebody that we don't want him to kill. and it's not going to be pretty. I think that this show is going to go dark. I don't think that there's any way that this show has a happy ending. Now, because they are potentially doing multiple seasons, maybe we'll get some type of cliffhanger or something, and it won't be all bad. But I kind of hope that it's not. I don't know. I was hoping that this series was only going to be one season, but apparently everybody else wants it to be multiple seasons. And it's good. I mean, I think that they need to not do 16 episodes every season, though. I mean, it's just...
It would have been better to be like 10 and 10 or something like that.
It's just too much. I mean, it's like, I don't know. You can only do so much. I mean...
wait a minute. We got a quote from Nick here. Zygerians.
Yeah, you mentioned the Zygerians were fun to me because that's Prince Caesar's species in Shadows. Yeah. And it's that character is interesting because we've seen a Zizor-like character in, I think we saw him in Rebels. Or no, not Rebels, season 7 of Clone Wars, but it wasn't Zizor. It was a guy that was like part of the different clans or whatever. I don't know what they're called when you've got Crimson Dawn and you've got all those different ones, but that we really have not seen that particular character portrayed yet in canon, because Shadows is not canon, which is good. I admit Shadows was a really good, the whole thing that they did with that.
Oh, that's not canon? Shadows of the Empire?
Shadows
no,
is
it's
not
Legends.
Canon. Yeah, it's Legends.
We can't, yeah.
Yeah, I never read it, but
I would like to see. Oh, Pauline.
I think Crosshair will be redeemed.
Oh wait, so wait,
yeah, because Zizor is the green-skinned guy.
Yeah,
he's not a Zygerian.
That's right.
We trust Fetmatic for all things,
dude. He's a walking, talking Star Wars book.
Yeah, because the Zygerians are the wolf-looking creatures.
Yeah,
the slavers.
Book.
The slavers. Yep, exactly.
Prince Zizor was the green-skinned.
Yeah, Zizor.
Oh, look, okay.
It's all right. Hey, dude, I don't know any of this stuff.
Good,
I don't know any of the species or the character names or planet names, or I don't even know why I'm here.
What are we doing?
In all honesty,
Marvel.
I'm biding time till Loki. That's all I'm doing is biding time till Loki. Because no lie, I'll be honest, and I think we said it last week. Bad Batch, we're going to spend about 5 minutes on, and then the rest is going to be Loki whenever that starts.
If something big happens at Bad Batch, I wouldn't mind spending 10, 15, 20, whatever.
Yeah,
whatever
exactly.
we allot for it. Whatever is natural in the conversation.
Okay, that's fair. I won't be dictating. Look, we got 5 minutes to talk about Bad Batch, and then we're gonna, I just
get
hope
out of
that
there.
I do know. Hey, Geode's a great character. It's an important character in the High Republic era. So if you're interested in looking up the character about Rock.
Rock?
It's a rock. Yeah. Exactly. So, anyways.
What else?
I'm trying to think of anything. Yeah, go ahead.
Wait, he's actually a rock?
No, Geode is, yeah. I love how you're just now finding this out.
I mean, I listened to the episode. I listened to CTI, but I thought you guys were joking. Geode.
It's hard to tell sometimes.
Geode's a name. I mean, it's an actual word.
It is a word.
It is. Yeah, Geode is a character in the High Republic that is a rock and that can somehow move. It does. It's not just stationary. It somehow moves, and I think they explain that, but I half listen to those books when I'm listening to them on Audible, so I don't really take everything in. Obviously.
What do we think about Sid having all
this? This is accurate. Also, the name of the vessel is the vessel.
It's very literal.
Oh, good grief, High Republic. Okay, what were you going to say, Dr. Earl? Sorry.
Oh, I don't know. I was just saying, what do we think about Sid having those like she had like a clone trooper helmet in her office and a Mandalorian helmet, and some people say they had the horn of the mud horn.
I mean, she's obviously just a collector.
Yeah.
I mean, like the rest of us.
I find her shady. I find her.
I'm just wondering. Yeah, I wonder.
I find her to be someone that will sell out these guys in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I mean, she's in the business of selling people out. So yeah, I would not, for good money, if somebody backs up that Brinks truck.
I think
yeah,
the
she'll
ending
sell people out.
I think the ending was hinting though that they're going to continue to work with her a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, I think she'll be back. Yeah. You don't have Rhea Perlman on just for one episode. I think she'll be back. I think that character will do something of importance.
She may get a spinoff series. It'll be
Sid's World. No, we don't need that.
Sid and Marty Krofft.
We've already got 20 of those in the pipeline.
Yeah, we've got too many spinoffs right now in the pipeline. So no, I don't think. I wonder if this will be
Sid and Geode on the road.
If this will be the show that phases out Disney or Star Wars animation. Like I'm sort of at a point now where how many more stories do we need to tell in animation when we've got the ability to churn out live action shows pretty easily when we've got the volume.
Fair.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, shows will become cheaper due to that kind of technology. The more ILM creates, and especially because ILM at least used to was in house, so they would get kind of stuff discounted as well. It'll get as much as other people.
It'll get more expensive to do these. I mean, these animated shows are not cheap to do, and they're the manpower to do them.
You may as well do an Ezra live action show if you want to do something with him. I know that there's rumors that he'll be in live action eventually, but
yeah. Well, and there's rumors that there'll be an Ezra, an actual animated sequel to Rebels, which
really
you can tell those stories though now with you've got your Ahsoka show coming out. You can tell the story that you need to tell for that sequel of Rebels. I mean, you don't need to do an animated series. I like the animated stuff. I get it. And there's a lot of people that do like it, but
make Ahsoka the sequel show.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah, no, I mean,
done.
Yeah, they just know that there's been so many fans that have like grown up with the animated shows, especially the Clone Wars.
Do we think the Bad Batch is hitting big? I mean, for Disney, is it like?
I can't imagine it's doing as well as
like
a live action show. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. No, I don't. It's certainly not pulling in numbers like that. There's no way that this show
is doing okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at Rhett. He's just don't even.
No, hey, this is good. This is good stuff. I mean, that's accurate.
The animation has gotten better and better and better. I mean,
the drooling rancor, the drool looked pretty awesome. I mean, there's just certain elements in each episode that you're like, wow, that's really. And even the stuff when they're flying into Ord Mantell, I mean, it all looks really good. Like anything in space and in the flight and the ships and stuff always look really, really good in animation. So
I think Filoni would love to continue animated shows because I think that's his baby. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But
he's moving on to live action too, though. I mean, he's got a lot on it. He's got a lot on his plate. Live action, and I think eventually we're at a point where Filoni could direct one of the actual feature films.
Yeah, well, when he remakes the sequel trilogy, you heard it here first, guys. For breaking news.
Okay, Mike Zero.
You don't need to put that out in the ether. That's not going to happen.
Mike Zero is going to make a video out of this now. I've heard from a good source.
No, you're going
to.
You're going to see Daisy Ridley in one of these Disney Plus series, I think. I
don't know how much out there it is, but I saw John Boyega said he was willing to return to do something. So
they
that
all
surprised me.
Yeah,
because I know he was pretty adamant about not doing that at a certain point.
And now he's flip flopped.
Yeah.
Well, he's just said he's willing to. He said very specifically if Kathleen Kennedy is still involved, and he said one other name. And Ryan, maybe, I don't know.
And look, it's income. It's income for these guys.
This is it. Money talks. Daisy got to eat. It's all. Yeah. It's all. Look, I mean, it is what it is.
If they start to find that jobs are not coming in like they want, I mean, I don't blame them.
I'm not thinking that there's going to be a Chaos Walking 2. So, I think that Daisy.
Read the books if you want to know more. So.
Yeah, exactly. So
pretend like Daisy Ridley is acting out the book in your mind. There you go.
Ooh, Brian. with the controversy. No, I think they're both gonna be back. I think Daisy will be in one of these series. I would venture to say that you'll see her in, well, maybe not even, maybe that Rogue One, or not, they're not calling it Rogue One, but
Rogue
I mean
Squadron.
What Rogue Squadron? I think she could be in that movie if it takes place.
When does it take place? I can't even remember now.
Rogue Squadron. I thought that was.
Is it
There's
after
two.
episode 8?
There's two different thoughts on that. One of the X-wing models that
like,
they showed was sequel trilogy, and one was original trilogy.
Didn't they say it? Didn't they already confirm when it was taking place? I can't even remember. It's been so long.
They did not. No, that has not been confirmed totally. The thing that Kathy Kennedy said during that big presser was that something along those lines, like continuing the future of Star Wars, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it takes place post sequel trilogy. Because who's left to fight? Like, why do you need Rogue Squadron?
Rogue Squadron, the flight to Exegol.
I mean, yeah, who's left to fight, really? I mean, unless there's, I don't know. I'm sure they could tell a good story, but at the end of the sequel trilogy, we're to believe that they've won the war.
Fun fact for Rhett, who commented that Ridley's performances, he doesn't love Ridley's performances. There's an interview where you can find Ridley saying that JJ made her cry on set during Force Awakens because he told her acting was so bad.
What? I have not read that. Wow.
I think she was
very early on.
I loved Ridley.
Very early on in the production, apparently she was a little too tense, I guess. I don't know.
It was like one of her first gigs.
Yeah,
I mean, she'd had some stuff.
She was very young.
Yeah, she we all.
She is delightful.
Big weight.
Daisy is glory. She's wonderful. I thought she did great.
Good. I agree. I think that, I thought she had some very powerful emotional scenes in Rise of Skywalker.
Especially in episode 2, I felt like she went for it with.
Last Jedi. Yeah. All right, we've gotten off track here. We've gone on long.
We let the comments take us over.
We've definitely gone on long enough with this, but we will certainly be back next week to talk about whatever the title of episode 6 is going to be. Yep. Maybe we will finally get the knowledge of who hired Fennec Shand. I doubt it. It depends on how long they're wanting to stretch that particular tidbit of knowledge
maybe
out.
We'll go to another planet and somebody will offer a little bit of information if you go do this mission.
Yeah, because it's kind of unclear at the end of this episode of what the next step is. Are
they? Well, don't we think Captain Rex will come in at some point?
Yeah, he will. He'll be here. Yeah, Roth's right. It'll be episode 14 before we find out who Fennec Shand was hired by. Anyways, well, Ryfin, where can the good people find you on the interwebs?
You can find me on Twitter at SUPASH3 and on Letterboxd at Ryfin. Sorry.
Yep, and Dr. Earl, off the grid, as always. You can be found on occasionally the RetroZap Discord, which is always a fun time. Always a fun time. I can be found at the Michael Nip on Twitter mostly, and I've got the Discord as well. Of course, the Deucecast movie show, which is our sister series. We're the sister series. The main show is obviously on RetroZap.com. That's the podcast network that we're a part of. We're starting a really fun summer series talking about our favorite summer movies through the years. So we're looking forward to doing that. We're doing like 5-year increments where we will be talking about those movies we loved during the summer. We've got our first episode of that dropping Wednesday, where we talk about the 70s, some of the summer movies that we loved.
70s, baby.
Yeah,
I was there to see it.
It's a great summer.
It's in the 70s. There was a lot of good movies that came out in the 70s. Amazing. Surprisingly, as you were doing your research, we found a lot of good stuff. Yes. But I appreciate everybody hanging out in the live chat. Sorry, the episode is on the short side. Everybody's got to work, man. We got jobs and stuff.
I'm starting
to do,
school.
So. It's a holiday.
An hour and a half.
Tomorrow. Yeah. Ryfin's got his next semester of school coming up.
Starting in an hour and a half? What'd you say?
Yeah, my class is
Yeah.
open up in an hour and 20 minutes. So
In an hour and 20 minutes,
What?
he'll know his fate. So
Oh, I see.
he'll know his fate. But yeah, we will definitely be back though for episode 6, and we will do our best to somewhat coherently talk about the episode. I can't promise anything, but we'll do our best to talk about that. So again,
Thanks for all of our troops.
troops who gave their lives in the line of duty.
yeah, what happened? Earl dropped at the very end. That was crazy. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we lost Earl at the very end there. What the heck? All right, I'll remove him. Please, with YouTube, obviously it's a huge help. If you guys will click on the subscribe button, share the episode, because I would love at least one subscriber a week would be awesome. I would love that.
I was trying not to make a joke like that. All right.
Good grief. So yeah, I on that note, I hope everybody did take the time to honor the troops that have given their lives and are currently away from their families and stuff.
This is only for those who've passed.
Yes, this is Memorial Day, not Veterans Day.
Veterans Day will celebrate the live ones.
Look, I honor all the troops. I honor
Michael
every.
always honors
Look,
troops.
I
That's your
honor
prerogative.
every single troop. Every single troop. Because we would not be here without them.
No,
So,
that's true.
anyways. All right. Everybody
bless.
have a great week, and we will be back next Monday. Thanks, guys.